Hi, Carol here, and World Card Making Day started on Catherine Spooler's site, Stamp Nation, where I was a guest designer. And the challenge was for this particular card was flags. Now, as a Canadian, I already had my Canadian card up, so I decided for this challenge to do the United States of America flag. I live close to the American border. I love the USA. And I love the history that's steeped in the United States flag, one nation under God. I'm using the Stampscape set, Country Chapel set. It's beautiful. I wanted to incorporate in this flag all the values and the Christian nation that was started, and I wanted to have a church on here as well as the American flag. I'm using the Nestability Circle die that I thought would be nice for the background. And the distress inks, when I do this, I just start with black and I work my way down to whatever colors blend itself evenly with the distress inks. Now you can use any inks, any dye inks would look beautiful. I just decided to use the mini cubes because when I get tired, I can do the paper to ink technique, just slide it across and then blend it out. Each way works well. So over on Catherine Pooler's site, Stamp Nation, we have had a 3-day challenges, and World Card Making Day started there on Friday, and we've been doing cards right up until today. So I just got home from church, and I decided that I wanted to put this video up for you with the process of the last card that I made for the challenges, which is the United States of America flag. I'm somewhat of a history buff, and I love the history steeped in the United States flag. So as I was doing this, it just made me appreciate the freedoms that we have in both my country, Canada, and the United States of America. So with great pride, I made this card for the challenge of flags. So here I'm using another die, which I absolutely love. And I thought it's a Dynamics die, and it is called the Stitched Snowdrifts. Yes, Stitched Snowdrift die right there. And I like this because it gives you the waves and it also gives you that dotted look. So I took a piece of red basil paper and then I took another die that I had, a Shapeability die, so that I could get the guts out of it, all the stars. This particular die had stars and circles, so I took my pokey tool and I took out all the stars because this is going to obviously, I didn't get 50 stars in there for the flag, but I got pretty close. I think I had 46 on there. But so now I'm going to make the flag. So I started at the top just to see how long I wanted and just made some curves. And there you have it. So it fit onto the card, cut it out. This is my 140-pound cardstock, and this is quite simplistic. Just put your page up there and see how see what the measurements are, and then just curve out the left-hand side of the flag, and you're all set. So I set that snowdrift die, dotted snowdrift die, down on the basil red, and I just pulled it down 1/4 of an inch each time I ran it through the die cutting machine, so it gave me even stripes. Love the red. And I go over the flag with my 100 Copic marker so that I have black edges. You don't see the white. And now I just situate all of the curved dies in order, and then I'll take my Mono Multi glue and we're going to glue them down. There's a lot of terrific challenges over on Stamp Nation, and there's a lot of card makers doing World Card Making Day cards today, and I think starting Friday. So I couldn't wait to get this video up. I literally got home from church, ran upstairs, and decided to edit this video. And I hope you like it because there's some type of, how can I say, I guess it's pride that you get when you make your country's flag. Now, I've already posted a card for my country, Canada, and I wanted to put another card up for the United States of America, and just love it. I just did not get all 50 states in there, sorry, but I got close, yes. And here, just after you put it down, wait a little bit, and then cut out all of the excess on there. And I was doing this card after midnight last night. I think I got finished it at about 1:30 in the morning. I'm pretty sure it was close to that anyway. So now I start with the black soot and I do 3 different shades of blue from the dark to the light because I need to have the square to put the stars on up in the left-hand corner of the flag. So I did direct ink to paper. I took out my Stampin' Up! Squares, and as you can see, I started with the smallest one. It was too small. So I ran and grabbed my little distress cubes and I made some more ink spots there, ran it through the next one level up of the square, and it was perfect right there. And then I wiped up my spot. I took my little pick stick, and these are the guts that came out of the large die. The stars, just beautiful. With the 140-pound white cardstock, they just stand right up off of well, it's the 140-pound paper that I'm using as well. And you want to make sure that your stars are even all the way across. And I think there was 7 across, 3, 6, 7, I think. And I just kept working my way with the Tombow Monomalti. I had to do 3 of these. I die cut 3 of these sets to get enough stars to fill this square for the top. And then you just want to be mindful to flip them over so that the good side of the star is on sticking towards you, like up. And then you can just dot, 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 dot your glue, grab the stars from the right-hand side with your pick stick, and place them there, making sure that all the points are in the right direction, as close as you can. It was getting late. And then I cut it off to make it look evened out, and I just love the look of this. So I put glue on the back, I put it on the top of the stripes so you have your stars and stripe. Took my 100 Copic marker to do the edges, and I turn that around here, yes, and then I'm going to cut the excess off of there. There's just a little bit on the back to make sure all the curves to the flag were in the right direction when it dried. Now I got out my MISTI and I decided to take the chapel and do it in the detail black ink at first. I was going to use the stamped image just like it was until I realized I had that beautiful Tim Holtz pine die, and I decided I'm just going to cut the chapel out 3 times, although I only used it twice to get the 3D look. It was enough to just put the chapel one on top of the other. But here I took some clear embossing powder and I went around it, and isn't this just a beautiful background for any card? I thought that I would get a better look with the chapel being cut out separately. And the Tim Holtz die, it's evergreens, pines. It's just a beautiful die. I got it at Hobby Lobby. It was $19.99, and I got the 40% off, and it was worth every penny. I just love the detail in it and the way it was used on this card. So I thought, well, how high do I want that chapel? And I was thinking 3 high to give it that 3D dimensional look. But as I placed it on there after I fussy cut it out, and with the 140-pound cardstock I used and the clear embossing powder, it gave it such nice stability. And what I always do when I use white cardstock, I always take my 100 Copic black marker and I go over all the edges so you don't see the white cardstock. So here I needed to get different greens for the Tim Holtz die. You can see to the left there, it's just beautiful. And I wanted, on this one, I wanted to be two, I wanted to cut out two of them. So I wanted to use the greens in all different shades. So this one, I started light, I started dark and went down to the light, and I poked out all the little pieces that were in there. And isn't that stunning? It can be used for so many cards, especially Christmas cards. And there, I'm just checking it. I'm not sure exactly, but I knew I had to do two. So here I'm deciding how many of these chapels do I want to have stacked high to give it that wonderful three-dimensional. And look at that. I saw this card. It's a little different than this, but I got the inspiration off a card on Pinterest. If I can find it again, I'll certainly post it. It was a beautiful card. And I love going on Pinterest the odd time to get some inspiration on where to start your card. And now I decided to do three different greens than the first one there, going in a richer green on the bottom and place it on top of that other die. It just makes for full foliage on the card. So I die cut this piece with the bottom of it a little richer in the greens than the kind of lime green, but I liked the other die cut for the simple reason of putting this on top, and you're able to see behind it, and it gives it a more 3D dimensional look right there. Isn't that stunning? It makes the cards, makes the trees, excuse me, look forward, and the other ones look behind, which I liked. So now I'm putting double-sided tape on the back of this, and I was going to use this stripe set from the new Stamp of Approval kit, but it just did not go. I needed something richer, so I'll use that for another card. So I took the back off of here, and I got some Wow Vintage embossing powder. I wanted to have a little bit of glitter behind those circles just to add a little pizzazz to this card. So I just poured it out because I did have the double-sided tape behind it. Then I put back what I could, and then I just scraped it off into my garbage can there. And when you move that card, you get that night sky starry look inside those tiny circles, which is stunning. So here we're going to put, I thought, the richness of the black cardstock and the deep red in the flag behind it. I took my 140-pound white cardstock to make my own card. This is 7.5 by 6-inch card. So I measured it out, and then I make a 1/4-inch fold at the top. Use my wonderful bone folder, and so that I don't get any marks on the top, and my 1/4-inch double-sided tape. And I'm going to put that down, and I have my sized card perfect. The Teflon bone folder really does work for not getting any of those wax marks when you rub the top of your folded cardstock. I really like that. And here, because it's the 7.5 by 6-inch, I needed to make the card base. It's bigger than the A2 standard size. So the basil red went on first. I used my ATG 1/2-inch glue gun and put that on first, and then proceeded to put the black over top to give it that richness that this needed on there. And then the pink going across the upper third will just really aid in the small amount of red that you put behind the black. It's just a beautiful sky look with the Distress inks. So now it's time to decide which trees do I want. And I think on here I decided, well, for sure I decided to have the larger ones to the right. So I took my multimedia glue, excuse me, and put it on the back, and I proceeded to just see what would look better. I glued it first because it gives you that movability with the glue when you're putting one of the dies on top of the other. And then I just pat it down, and then I take my scissors and I go right across the upper card, the blue die, and then I do the exact same thing on the other side. And there you have it. We have beautiful trees in the background. They're all different colors because we did the shading on 2 different die cuts. I'm just making sure it's even on each side. And now we're going to get this beautiful US of A flag. Now I took out my black double-sided sticky round circles, and I will leave a link to where I got these. I can't think of it. I ordered them so long ago, but I think it's the Sticky Store. I'm not going to say because I can't remember, but they come in all different sizes. They look like a dimensional. Some of them are dimensionals like the honeycomb shape, large circles, small circles, squares. They have all different sizes you can order. So I'll put that in the description bar. And they're crazy sticky. When you get that down, it's not coming up. So here I decided I'm going to glue the first chapel down after I use my 100 black Copic marker. I always go across the white cardstock like I said, and you want your image to always be facing away from you in case your marker slips. It will slip on the inside of the cardstock and not touch your beautiful stamped image. Well, we're coming down to the end of the card, and it was just a really nice card to make, even when it was really late. Actually, it was early this morning, right? When I finished this, it was just a pleasant card. And I put the multi-medium glue down for the first church, and so that I could move it around if I wanted to move it there. And look at that Tim Holtz die with the evergreens and the pine trees in the background. And shading it on your cardstock first gives it that really nice dimensional look. And keeping the dark shaded die to the front will help it look more dimensional so that the other trees look farther back. So now we've placed our black dimensionals, which I love because from the side you don't see any of the white. And that's important when I make a card, when I'm using black like this. Thank you so much as always for joining me. I appreciate it. And World Card Making Day and being a guest designer on Catherine Pooler's site, Stamp Nation. Have yourselves a blessed week, and we will see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.